Hi, guys. Welcome in. Tonight, the guys and I are going to be talking about the Justice League Snyder Cut, as well as doing our own little twist on March Madness. We've got the Food Chain Sweet 16, followed up by what we're eating. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is Comic Book Food Chain. And we're back. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Dude, that intro I can't not get pumped listening to it.
I feel you. Yep. I go pretty hard in the seat. Good thing they can't see me because, yes, I get down to that bad boy. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. This is Comic Book Food Chain. First off, make sure that you share us out, tag your friends in because it's going to be a fun night. We got some really cool things we're doing. Let's get into just who you're talking to, who you're hanging out with. Frank, let's start off with you, my man. Tell me how you've been doing. Tell me what you've been up to. Let's learn a little bit about what you've been up to.
Oh, man. Nothing. I've been bored. I've been doing nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
Aaron, Facebook feed says the other way.
Aaron, you could bring up the slides. We're talking about Justice League tonight, but before that, I'm writing Power Rangers.
Woo!
Right? Fuck yeah. Did I just break the no fucks in like the first 3 minutes rule, Aaron? Shit.
No. We've been on for at least a minute, like all the pre-intro stuff. So I think we're good. We cleared that.
We're solid.
Yeah, apparently we're at 423 right now, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
But if you can see behind me, there is definitely a Megazord action figure. It's a little Phantom Ranger, Sentai number 2, first appearance Power Rangers on my wall. Like I'm a huge Power Rangers fan.
So were you the one that bought that underwear?
No,
on eBay for like almost $2,000.
I was looking at it when it was at like it was like 50, and then it was 100, and then it was like 200 or 300. I was like, okay, maybe. But then I looked at the size, and it's like this big. I was like, no, I'm not paying $300 for that. And then it jacked up to like 1,900. So it was never happening. I don't want that comic book.
Right?
It's not even a comic book. It is a pamphlet.
So Frank, what you're saying is you were the guy to write this book.
Yeah. No, I was born to write this book. But real talk. It's a really cool opportunity. It kind of came out of nowhere, like, and I can't even really talk about a lot of it yet, but it happened, and like it was really like caught me off guard, and like I feel like I've jumped up like 100 rungs on the professional comics creator ladder. Like most people like get their start writing like My Little Pony or like some other, I don't want to say undesirable because I think My Little Pony is great, but like some lower tier small IP, and this is like Hasbro bought this for billions of dollars, so like it's such a huge opportunity. And Phantom Ranger, for anyone in the feed or who's watching knows about the Phantom Ranger, he is one of the coolest and most unexplored characters in the franchise. So like they didn't even like start me off with the training wheels. They just like threw me in to something with like a Game of Thrones level set of fan theories that it's a suicide mission, but I'm super excited to like obviously be part of it and for people to check it out when it comes out on June 30th. On the screen, we've got the Dan Mora cover. This is the A cover. Just super cool cover. Lots of hints about the story, some red herrings. So it's kind of a fun cover to like be on the other side of, and to have Dan Mora, who we talked about a lot in the Future State episode, or when we talked about Future State. It's such a cool thing. Like I never thought I'd have a Dan Mora cover. And then there's 3 more covers on the next slide, which blow my mind too. We got the Yoon cover B, which is a connecting cover with the Air of Darkness one shot that's coming out before this at the end of this month. The Vincenzo Riccardi 1 in 25 it's gorgeous. It's got Master Vile on it, who's also one of the coolest characters in Power Rangers and hasn't been explored almost at all. And then like kind of like the crown jewel here, the Derek Chu 1 in 50. Like I never thought in a million years I'd have a book with Derek's covers on it with my name on it too. So like it's been a cool opportunity all around, and it's been a bitch not talking about it for the last 4 months. Like the comics take forever to make, and it's such of the covers. So like, I was right there with a lot of people kind of seeing some of the stuff for the first time. And it's been really cool to see the reaction from the community and some of the people in the feed even. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. This is up for pre-order right now, I think. It's in the April preview. So if not today, like within the next week. And it'll come out on June 30th. And it is for the spec people in the feed. It is the first canonical appearance of the main universe Phantom Ranger, so technically the first appearance of the Phantom Ranger for people who care about that kind of stuff. And it is definitely like the first shot in a much larger story that they're planning for Phantom Ranger over a long period.
Taking notes right now to make sure to order. And then we'll make sure to try to remind for.
Your dog's excited too, man.
I know. Yeah. You can hear him. But I mean, we'll try to give a reminder for FOC, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And then I might have something special for an episode down the line between now and FOC. So we'll touch base on this again.
Right out, man. That's big time news. I love it. I have a quick question. So when they sent you this, did you say they sent you like a portfolio of, this is information you need to write this? You said that was a lot to have.
So they, it's funny. And I probably shouldn't say this, but they sent me some stuff to have for reference.
Sure.
But I knew more than like the dossier they gave me, and like I was kind of correcting some of the stuff in it because I'm a big nerd, which is like you don't want to make your editor look bad ever, but I also want to do a really good job.
Put like notes in the margins.
Yeah, because like up front we were talking, like they came to me with this. The editor reached out to me, and I'd been talking to her for a couple of years, like kind of on and off, very very loosely, like, which is why this was unexpected. And she reached out to me, was like, "Hey, we want to do a Phantom Ranger book, and we wanted to see if you wanted to write it." So it wasn't like I had to like do a bake off and pitch against other people or anything. Wow. They just said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do. Of course I do." I was much more reserved at first. I was like, "Oh wow, what an opportunity!" Yes, absolutely.
Let me check my Palm Pilot. Yes,
but they didn't have like any. They didn't give me any kind of like tunnel that I needed to go down and like a place I needed to end up. Like it was very creatively free. Like, cool. So like after I took the job, like we had some meetings and we pitched kind of ideas back and forth, like conversationally, not like formally, and where we landed. And one of the things we talked about was the different kind of fan theories about the identity of the Phantom Ranger, because he was in 10 episodes, 7 in one season, 3 in the next season, and like there was this whole kind of build up to who he might be, and like lots of like kind of hints across different characters, like who might be under the mask, and it was never resolved. So like that's again, like that's kind of like the Game of Thrones thing I was talking about, like just walking into like a lot of different fan theories and stuff like that. And one of the potential candidates was somebody who, like the comics have already established it can't be because of the way other stories have gone. And like, I was like, oh no, we can't do it that way. So like, it was just this huge gratifying nerd moment that like, was cool. It was like all that time on the elliptical watching Power Rangers for the last 20 years. Paid off. I'm not any skinnier, but I know a lot about Power Rangers. So
that's awesome. All right, well let's table some of this too. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was going to say real quick, and I've been following you on Facebook, and I saw that this is one of the titles that you've been checking off of your list, like of what you want to work on. So
yeah, I'll drop that in a slide coming up. But I've got a checklist of dream properties I'd like to write. And like a week before I got this job, I posted it, and I don't think it's related at all. But Power Rangers was at the top of the list. Beast Wars, Buffy, and I don't even remember what the fourth one is, so I must not care that much. So cool opportunity. I'm super excited, and I'm sure we'll talk about it some more between now and the end of June.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to table some of this because I've got a million questions in my mind that I just want to ask you, and it'll turn into a whole separate interview aside from what we have planned. Yeah. But yes, we definitely should circle back to this because I need to pick this apart a little bit because you've kind of grown as a writer as we've known you. We go back to your original works. We get to know how your writings are. And obviously, Yi and I have read everything you've written. And then this is a transition in a whole nother field. There's just a lot of interesting things we could talk about before we get too deep.
But I heard you have news too. So why don't we kick it over to what you got?
Let's do it. So, yep, tonight we launched a new exclusive for us. We're dipping into the indie realm. This is Magic the Gathering #1. It says a Hal Lauren exclusive cover. We did the trade in the Virgin. I think that came out pretty badass. I'm not a huge Magic the Gathering person. I don't know a lot of the lore. I don't know the rules, the card game. I know the universe is very badass. I'm a fantasy guy. I love all this type of stuff. And this is 2 planeswalkers here, basically, that we've got going on. So that did go on sale today, 6 p.m. my time. I believe that's 9 p.m. everywhere else. That's important. That's not more west of me. And yeah, they're on the website, birdcitycomics.com. Go check it out and show us some love and support us. And we can keep coming out with some cool, badass stuff.
So I talked to my brother about this. He's a huge Magic fan. Like, he has like thousands and thousands of cards. Actually really excited about this title. I talked to him and his friend, who used to be one of my managers at ThinkGeek, and he's shout out to my friend Will. And he's not so big into the lore of everything, but he knew my brother was like already like, yes, It's on my pre-order. Like, I'm ordering it. I'm reading it. Like, I'm excited about this.
That's cool. And I've heard this from a lot of people that are into it. So I put out a teaser and I'm like, guess who this is? And they tore it apart like in seconds. Like, they were commenting. I'm like, oh, good guess. I had to Google it to make sure I knew what I was talking about. But yeah, so I like the concept.
Magic fans are rabid. So
dude, they were on it. And then something else cool that we're doing, and I don't think I even mentioned it to you guys, we started a Patreon. So we're just trying to save comic book fans, especially Bird City comic fans, some money. And I had this really cool idea that we come out with the t-shirts. You guys have seen me wear all the different Bird City Comics t-shirts that have been retrofit from old TV shows, movie logos, stuff like that. But basically, we're going to come out with an exclusive t-shirt every month, just one new one. And Patreon members, it's only going to be for them. And then, of course, we bundled in some comics, so you save money by doing it. But you're going to get like a t-shirt of the month along with any book that we're doing that's new that month. So this would be an option on top of other projects we do. But yeah, go check out the Patreon. It's just under Bird City Comics.
Well, all right.
Boom. All right. So that's me.
So as everyone probably knows, you can catch me on Tales from the Flip Side. I host the Prospect 10 list that comes out every Tuesday morning. And then you'll also see me on Thursday with a round discussion. A lot of people have fun playing a deal with Flipside. It's a game that Nico came up with, and I just kind of refined it. So basically, I take 2 different books and compare at a similar price point, and then I let the panel discuss and decide which book they would rather buy at that price point. So it's a lot of fun. You know, it's always fun like coming up with stuff. So, yep.
Yeah, dude, that's a fantastic show, and the games just seem to be where it's at, especially if you can mix spec and game together, which is what we're going to do today. All right, guys, you guys ready to get into this? Well, no, we got more news. The Road to 1,000, Gogol, we got to give away some stuff. Yep, we got the comic book food chain, Road to 1,000. Appreciate everybody that's subbed so far, but of course, keep sending them our way. But yeah, where are we at with this bad boy?
So at the end of last episode, we had unlocked the 700 sub giveaway, which was bundled in with the 4, 5, and 600 giveaways. We did sort of a 4-for-1 kind of deal with the segment pitch contest. There was a ton of people in the comments with cool segment ideas and some ones that we're definitely like going to put in our back pocket for later. We did have to narrow it down to 4. But before we get into that, let's just refresh on what the prizes were. So the 400 sub is the TMNT 96. This is the retailer incentive variant by, oh God, who's it by?
Is it Eastman cover?
No, who's writing the book? I know this. I'm just totally blanking on it.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, there you go. Waltz. Tom Waltz, right?
No. We're going to come back to this. This is the worst. Anyway, I'll remember that in a minute. For the 500, we've got Ice Cream Man, the Dr. Seuss number 20 cover. For the 600, we have the Something is Killing the Children number 1 local comic shop day foil cover. And for the 700, we have my personal copy of American Vampire number 1. Again, it's my personal copy. It is not a 9.8, but it is a beautiful copy to have anyway. It's a cool book to keep in your collection. And I thought that since I was reading American Vampire last week, it would be cool to bring it in. So we have gone through all the comments, and we have picked our top 4. It wasn't easy.
It was not easy. It was it was a pretty long discussion.
Yeah, and it is way too small on my screen to read.
Okay. So are we starting at the top with 400 and go? Okay, so at the 400 giveaway is Cherokee Metal. I'd love to see you guys do a segment on what dream team of comic creators you would like to use to build your life story comic book,
which is super outside the box, and I loved that one a lot. So
yeah, so hit up Bird City Comics for that giveaway. At 500, we have Astro Wizard. Hey guys, really enjoying the show. I like to see a segment where you talk about comics in the community today versus where it was the last crash and where you think it's going to be in the future, or perhaps do you see another crash coming? Thanks guys, congrats on the success of the show. So hit me up at Yeezy for the Ice Cream Man giveaway. And then we have Gabriel, sorry if I mispronounced this, Nunya. Great show, guys. Drunko Vision was great. My idea for a fun segment would be, this is the answer. What's the question? So, and then he lists out an example of how to play the game. So we're definitely going to use that at some point in time. And then we have 9 square inches. Segment idea. Would love to hear all your comic books origin stories, how you get into reading / collecting comics. What was your first comic as a reader? Your favorite book or character?
Right on. Yeah, those were all great.
So those are our final 4, right? So we have to pick one more winner, and that person's segment idea will be adapted in an episode in April.
Perfect.
Probably toward the end of the month, because these things take time to put together. But there's a good chance they'll all be adapted at some point, because it is really hard to come up with these things, and free ideas are free ideas. But there can be only one. It's like the ring in Lord of the Rings. That's that movie with the elves.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. So we are going to run a poll. If I'm not mistaken, it's either live now or will be live very shortly. It's going to be on the channel. Aaron can explain how to get to that, because he tried to explain it to me and I just did not understand. But there will be a poll with these 4 usernames. You can check back on this video to see the slide. Vote for the one you think is the best, and we will adapt that in April.
Yep. So it'll show up on the community tab. I haven't made it yet since we just made this stream. So I'll add it. So it'll either show up after the show shortly or tomorrow morning. And
that poll will run until Saturday at midnight. So Sunday at midnight, because we have our meetings on Sunday. So vote between tomorrow and Sunday, and you should be safe.
Right on. Get after it, guys. All right, guys. So big shout out to the winners. Hopefully you guys enjoy these books. Make sure you do reach out to us. Reach out to you directly. You guys can PM us on the IG.
Yeah. Yep.
And
good. Yeah, so if you hit us up individually, or if you hit us up at Comic Book Food Chain, we'll get you. Perfect. We'll get you your books.
Also, the TMNT 96 is by Sophie Campbell. Came to me, I remember. She's writing the book now. That issue wasn't written by her, but she did the cover for it. She also, I believe, created Jenica, which is an extra little layer of cool there.
Right. Nice. All right, guys. So currently, as of today, we're at 755 subscribers. So guys, we're on our way to that 800 giveaway. So definitely make sure you're still after that, and we can give away some more cool stuff.
And we are this episode announcing what the 800 giveaway is, and that is on the next slide.
Yep, let's see it.
So to tie into this episode, which is focused on Justice League and the Snyder Cut and things around the Justice League, we dug up sort of an oldie, but a cool one. This New 52, right? It was Justice League of America.
I think it was part of Rebirth, wasn't it?
I do believe this is Rebirth, because this is 2017.
Okay, yeah, no, that was definitely Rebirth, but that makes sense because that's when the movie came out. But this is the I believe it's San Diego Comic-Con, but it's definitely a convention exclusive. It says on the
Yep.
front. Foil variant with the cast. It's super cool.
Very cool.
And we'll give that one away to a rando user when we hit 800. So maybe in the next week, we'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing's gorgeous. As you can see, it was top loaded smile art, and it's ready to go home with somebody. We just got to get to that 800 subs, guys, and that bad boy will be in the mail. But very cool book. It was funny because when we started doing this thing, we're thinking of a giveaway, and then somebody's like, does somebody have a Justice League comic? And I'm like, I do.
You got all the comics, bro.
Well, I found the Wonder Woman 28 with a gal on it, too, in that same area, which was pretty cool. But
I'd hang
nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's going to do a private signing at some point in time, right?
Well, hopefully we'll get back to that because that'd be
Ace Comic-Con, man. Ace Comic-Con. It's all celebrities. They'll have her.
That's true.
right.
So yeah, and that's our 800. But we wanted to give everyone a sneak peek. Last week we did. We got the 1,000 sub giveaway already picked out. It's on the next slide. It is a signed copy of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Canto #1 from 2 years ago, signed by David Boer, signed by Drew Zucker, the writer and artist of the book. This book is damn near mint. It's been top loaded since I got it from them as a gift at Comic-Con, and it's just been sitting waiting for a reason to come out. So help us get to those 1,000 subs, and this book could be yours.
Yeah, guys, these giveaways are major. I don't know if you're seeing this, but we give away some cool stuff. Kind of the perk of being around and hanging with the comic book food chain. But yeah, we're trying to push to this 1,000. I think we're pretty much pacing that. We should get there fairly fast. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think someone commented saying that we're getting like 250 subs a show or something like that.
Yeah, we're average. I mean, we're averaging that. We started a little ahead. We were at about $150 before we went live the first time, but we're still netting 100 or a couple hundred every episode.
Right
so yeah, if you guys help us keep up that pace, maybe we'll give away Canto next week.
Yep.
Oh.
There it is. All right, guys. So let's get in. All right, let's not hesitate this anymore. Let's get into the topic of the week. Hang tight, and we'll be right back, and we'll get into this bad boy. All right, guys, there it is. We are going to talk about this. This is the Snyder Cut of Justice League, the movie. This has been all the talk of the town. It came out, the 18th? It's roughly 4 hours, and we're about to deep dive this bad boy. So,
is it roughly 4 hours, or is it a rough 4 hours? That's what we're here to discuss, actually. But fair warning to anyone who's watching, we want you to hear. But if you haven't seen this, hop off now if you don't want spoilers. It's impossible to talk about this without talking about it. So
when we're talking about the differences, which what will be spoiled. So there you go.
We'll miss you, but we'll understand. But I'm watching the viewer numbers go up in real time, so I guess maybe people don't care.
Right on.
Well, it's almost been out for a week now at this point, right? Thursday will be a week.
Friday, right? It came out Friday. Oh, it came out Thursday, right? So yeah.
So the 25th, it'll be exactly out 7 days.
Making 4 hours in that amount of time it's not easy. But I watched it 1.5 times, so like I can't really talk.
Okay, so guys, of course, we're going to give you the perspective from across the comic book food chain. Frank, I'm assuming you're going to attack this from a creative standpoint. I think Yi and I will pretty much nerd out on this bad boy and figure out what kind of goodies we can give you. But I got to ask, Gogol, are you a Marvel or a DC fan at heart? Because
no contest. I'm a Marvel fan.
Okay, because as a DC fan, I know where some of this is going to come from, but I just wanted to get it out of the way.
I think you'll be surprised by my take. I would preface it by saying I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was a good story. And like I'll explain a lot of that when we get into it. But like I don't want that to come off as like faint or non-praise, because I had a good time watching it. But if you look at it a little too hard, it starts to unravel really quickly. A lot of what they're doing. So like coming from the creative point of view, the writer, like there's definitely some stuff in there that bothered me. So that's kind of where I'm coming from when we get into it.
Okay. Well, let's kick this bad boy out. Guys, how do you want to do this? We're going to roundtable it. Obviously, everybody's going to do, but do you want to do this beginning to end, or do you want to do a person by person synopsis and what they thought?
Let's go around
Okay.
food chain order and just do, worked, didn't work, like yay or nay. I liked it, I didn't like it. Obviously, I said I liked it with the caveat that I didn't. What about you, Ant?
I did enjoy it, and let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like a 6 or 7. The original movie for me, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the layout. I enjoyed it a little bit more because they gave you a little bit more meat with your steak. So
Yeah.
you get a little, I love extended scenes. If anybody's going to give me crap, I don't care. I have the Harry Potter box set, the collector set, and the Blu-rays that people even still have those now. They played all the extended straight through. I only watch everything in the extended, so I did dig this. So it was a thumbs up for me. Yee, what'd you think?
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. I didn't like it. I mean, it was better than the original cut. I'll give it that. But then, like when I started seeing scenes from the original cut, then I was like, kind of like, I remember why I don't like this movie.
It's,
So
it's interesting. Like we kind of have like the full spectrum. Liked,
Right.
kind of me in the middle, and then Aaron on the other end of things. Not too into it.
There
I,
you
I,
go.
I did not expect that. I expected me to be on the nay side for sure, and you guys both to be pretty into it. So I think everything I thought about what we're about to say is totally out the window now.
All right, so let's do this in a couple different ways. Let's talk about the story because I know Gogol's got thoughts on that. Let's talk about the actual movie production, some of the CGI and things like that, and then of course the extended scenes. So let's get into this story, how it was built and laid out. What were your thoughts on that, Frank?
All right, so I just macro structure. I loved that it was in parts. Like I think if you're going to release a 4-hour movie and it's streamable, like that's just such a smart move. You're able to dip out after one or two and treat it like a prestige format Netflix
Chapters.
show, right? Like
Yeah.
you can do 2 episodes, 2 parts, and then come back to it. Like that's the right move when you have a 4-hour movie for sure.
So anybody that didn't see that, what it was is it goes to a black screen and literally says like, does it say part or chapter or no?
Part one, and then like a
yeah.
title or a quote,
Yeah.
which is kind of artsy, but like really wasn't substantive. I like Zack Snyder. Like in a vacuum, I think he's a fine director. Like he's fine. Like I enjoy his movies. They're big. They're loud. He's kind of like Michael Bay with a little more like lit major in him. Like he definitely makes a little bit deeper movies than Michael Bay. But at the end of the day, like he's not hitting home runs for me every time by any means.
Sure.
So I liked chapters. I liked parts. I did not like 4 hours, even though it was in chapters and parts, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, and I read this today. Somebody did the math. 10% of the movie was in slow motion, and I did the math from there. That's 24 minutes of the 242-minute runtime. So like that, if you cut that out, this movie, or at least reduce that significantly, like to only what needs to be in slow motion, this is a much tighter movie and a little bit of a better viewing experience, I think. And
So
that
slow
was
motion for Snyder is like Michael Bay and the lens flares.
yeah, or J.J. Abrams, you mean?
J.J. Abrams. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get murdered for that one.
But like
Okay.
J.J. does it once in a while, and it's over the top. But like so much of this movie is in slow motion, and so much of the slow motion was like way too long. Like the scene with Barry saving Iris in the car, like I think it was like 5 minutes of slow motion. Like it's insane.
We like pushed our hair to the side and
Yeah, and like
a hot
it was,
dog.
I mean, we could get into like how creepy and weird it was, and like how unnecessary. Like it didn't add anything to the movie, and that's kind of like the other thing I didn't like. So much of this movie didn't need to be there. Like it's the word I kept coming back to is indulgent. And again, I'm going to remind everyone that I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. But if I'm telling a story, like economy of narrative is really important. Like you want to tell a tight story. You don't want to spend time in the weeds with just long shots of a cornfield for no fucking reason. Like, and the same thing with 24 minutes of slow motion. Like slow motion loses its impact if you use it too much. Like the law of diminishing returns applies to every aspect of storytelling. Like if you do too much talking, like talking gets boring and starts to sound like white noise. You have to break up the talking with action. If you do too much slow motion, people don't notice when like the really important stuff is happening in slow motion. So like it's just like I think Zack Snyder has a really solid understanding of the shape of a story, but he doesn't seem from what I've seen in his movies, have like a really good understanding of what drives stories. And like those two things both need to be present. Like Christopher Nolan is like a really good example of somebody who gets both of them and then is indulgent on top of that, like because he wants to be, not because he doesn't quite get what he's doing. I don't know, Zach. I don't know what went into making this movie. I could be totally wrong, but like these are the places my brain went when I was watching it. Like I just didn't need some of it. And then the last thing I really didn't need is the epilogues. Like this is a project that is dead. There's a fan movement. It got this cut, but Warner Brothers has been really clear about where they're going forward. They have said that the Whedon cut is like their in continuity cut that they're going to do for all the other movies, and that this was, a little pet project for Zach. To add those like unresolved bits at the end was just so unsatisfying. The Whedon cut was a 3 for me, and I'm a big Whedon fan. As a filmmaker, not as a human, but it was a 3. Like it was straight up bad.
Yeah.
And then this was for me like a 7 or 8. Like it really, really wasn't up. Like if Winter Soldier is an 11 out of 10, which it absolutely is, this could be a 7 or an 8 for me. But then like those epilogues knocked it down to like a 6. Like it made me mad because I know that they're never going to get picked up on, and that just seemed like a shitty thing to do to your fans.
Yeah.
That's like me putting like an after credit scene in a comic that I never planned to write like more of.
It's the ending of Terra Nova all over again.
Yeah, but Terra Nova got canceled, and then this was canceled before these scenes were shot.
They gave it to us. And they showed it to us, and they said, "Oh, well, hopefully you like that."
Yeah. The one other thing I really kind of didn't get was it was very clear to me that the story being told was not the story that was originally planned when Zack Snyder shot this movie the first time. Like it has been chopped up, rearranged, and new stuff has been added, and you can kind of see where things are patched. Like the whole Dark Side, like we know that is extra to the original cut. Like that wasn't supposed to be the first movie, that was supposed to be the next movie or whatever. Right. They decided to put it in this movie, make this a long movie. That's fine. But like when you get into stuff like Dark Side coming to Earth and finding the anti-life equation, but then forgetting where it was, like the most important thing, his whole goal, finding the anti-life equation, and then he forgets where it was. And like there's some stupid reason in the movie why he forgot, but like then halfway through the movie, what's his face, the bad dude, Steppenwolf, he has a vision for no reason that tells him that that the anti-life equation's on Earth. But what triggered that vision? Absolutely nothing. I watched the scene 3 times. It just happens. Like that's bad storytelling. Like nothing is driving that. Things are just happening to characters, and they're going with it. There's one more thing I didn't like. I'm going to bring it up. I wasn't going to, but the climax, which was probably the best part of the movie, was awesome. It was a visual feast. I should mention that I watched this once on my TV, which is a 4K TV. I streamed it. It didn't look great, I'll be honest. Like the CGI was really, really, really like mid 2000s like video game CGI, especially like the old god stuff. Like Zeus looked just like he looked like he walked out of a Lara Croft game. Then I went over to
like an extra from 300.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that might even be borrowed footage. Who knows? But I went over to my in-laws who have like a really big media screen and a projector, and I watched it on their 4K projector, which came out a little fuzzier than 4K because that's how projectors do. But it looked a lot better big, which I think was, I think it was the quality of the projector more so than the quality of the movie. But it looked better big. And this is a movie that's meant to be watched in theaters, but it was made for streaming. That sucks. In the climax, it's just a big old visual feast for your eyes. It's awesome. But there's nothing for any of the characters to do. Think back to Avengers, right? We'll give Whedon a little saving grace here. Sure. Avengers, the climax. Every character had something to do, right? You had Captain America calling the shots, had Hawkeye up on the roof picking off strays, Iron Man's up dealing with the big, long, snaky spaceship tank guys, Hulk's messing those things up, Black Widow's on the ground, helping civilians. Like, I mean, everyone's got something to do. In the climax of this movie, the only 2 people who have anything to do are Flash and Cyborg. And it's something we saw them do in the last action scene. Flash runs real fast, touches Cyborg, so he can activate the box. Flash runs real fast, activates the box. Like it's the same scene over again. And
But in
everyone,
slow motion.
yeah, it's about 44 minutes of the slow motion. But like everyone else has nothing to do, and what they are doing is just punching. Aquaman's there and he's punching. Wonder Woman's there and she's punching. Batman's kind of there and punching. He's very useless in this fight. And like the whole movie is built on him, and he's the most essential part of it when you get there. And then who else is there? There's somebody else in that fight. I can't even remember who's there. There's one more Justice League member, and they're just punching too. Whatever. Everyone's just punching. Why is Aquaman not doing anything with aqua powers? Like, why is Batman not using batarangs and grappling hooks? Like, it just seems like a gross misuse of the characters. And you could have plugged in any other characters and like had the same exact thing. And that just to me that's not great. Like, I didn't like that. Now let me backtrack all of those terrible things and say I had fun watching it. Like, I thought it was a better cut. I didn't mind 4 hours. It didn't feel like 4 hours. Like I said, I watched it 1.5 times. It looked good when it looked good. Yeah, I like that. I did think that Cyborg's story like was obviously restored and much bigger in this, and like was actually an arc where none of the other characters had like any kind of arc or change to who they were or what they were doing. So that was great. So yeah, like I said, would have been a 7, was a 6. So it's like it's above average. But yeah, I could talk for a while about all the other things that like kind of irked me and that I liked. It's a big movie. There's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot going on. I see what you were saying about some of it just seemed unnecessary. It almost felt like he was trying to prove a point that he knew about each character. So like that slow motion scene we were talking about with the car crash, and it was so unnecessary, but it almost seemed like he was proving a point. I'm going to shoot this scene so I can prove I can shoot a slow motion flash scene.
Well,
you think like back to the Quicksilver ones that are fantastic, and they put the music to them. And
I thought about this a little bit too. Like, to me, it was worthwhile to have a good long intro scene for each character, and that's what that Flash scene was. Like, it's when we're seeing him for the first time, and we're getting to know this character we've never seen before. It's not like Avengers where we have the benefit of knowing Thor from his 2 movies or not from his movie. Even though we know who Flash is, this is Zack Snyder's Flash, and we don't quite know who he is, and like that warrants some screen time for sure. It's just the execution of it was, that 10-minute scene could have been a 7-minute scene. The slow motion wasn't all slow motion.
Well, that's what I meant. Like their power that they show off was more in their intro as opposed to their fight scenes. Because you go back to Wonder Woman and her entrance through the building and blocking bullets, and then she gets up there and she's attacking.
That scene, by the way, that scene pissed me off. All right, I'm sorry. We're gonna talk some more. So there's a terrorist situation. There's this big bomb. They take over a bank. There's some school children. It's perfect setup for a Wonder Woman hero, little mini story in the movie. She successfully and like thoroughly proves that she can disarm this whole thing without loss of life, to the point where she like bats away like 7,000 bullets with her bracelets, right? And then what does she do at the very end? After saving all those lives and no one getting hurt, she uses her, Wakanda Forever explosion power with her gauntlet bracelets, blows out the side of a building and kills a bunch of cops.
Yeah, she created some dangerous
cop
debris.
Killer.
Like, not for nothing, in that scene, the terrorists do less property damage and killing than she does. And like that is visited again in the ending. So they beat Steppenwolf, right? They have him on the ropes. The portal opens. Darkseid's looking through. And Steppenwolf is beat. And they're throwing him back through the portal. And for no reason, she kills an unarmed, beaten person by chopping their head off, which is the least Wonder Woman thing I have ever seen. Second only to Batman saying, "I will fucking kill you" in the epilogue, which is the least Batman thing you will ever hear said. So
you're at least the second person I've heard that say that.
Was Mark Waid the other one?
It was.
Mark said that too. But my point is, you have to go into this movie thinking to yourself that this isn't the Justice League. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, it's called the Snyder Cut, and like that is the perfect name for it, because everything about this movie, the indulgence, the characters, the way it's structured, compared to other things he's done, it is Zack Snyder's movie. And you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, or if you're me, you're going to kind of fall somewhere in the middle.
Right. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So some of the things that I did enjoy about the story was the extended scenes. I'm a fan of extended scenes, so the whole entrance to Aquaman, I did a little research so I can know what to look out for. So that whole, little stupid nerdy things. He was looked like the bodyguard for the guy that ran that village, even though he's Aquaman. Looked like his muscle. I was like, okay, that was a cool little twist. How subtle he was on that. Something that did bug me, because I got to throw a little shade now because you got me going. I hate the way they make Batman's suit. Like, Batman is one of the most skilled fighters in the universe, and he looks like he cannot move. Like, there is no function to this thing. The guy's supposed to be like a ninja, and he's just like big, wide armed. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he doesn't look super agile in this thing.
Because it's the Frank Miller Batman, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the Frank Miller Batman. It's the size, but also it's Ben Affleck in the suit. Like, he got big for this, like insanely big. Which
For the one scene where he was doing pull ups with the weights attached to his leg, and that was the only scene he needed his shirt off for.
exactly, but like filling out that suit without it being padding. But when you get to some of the stuff that got reshot, especially one of the epilogue scenes, when you see him out of the suit, he's about 40 pounds lighter than he was the first time they filmed, and like it is super noticeable.
Well, it just drives me nuts on how he turns his head. I mean, for the talking scenes, like, if he's gonna look this way, he's got to go like this.
It's like
And that's about
it's like he slept wrong on his neck.
right. Hey, Wonder Woman, can you slide in? I just a little creak, my posturepedic. So that does drive me nuts. But as far as the visuals of the movie, I did enjoy the rest of it. I enjoyed the special effects as far as when they were using the power sets and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. The slow motion fight scenes, like you said, were a little over the top, but for me, slow motion scenes is where I start picking out crap in the background. So if other people like to do that, you can kind of catch it, especially with that battle scene with Zeus throwing like some lightning shit flying that way. And I'm like, oh, look at that dude in the background getting chopped up. So, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to digest and process.
It's a good looking movie for sure.
Yeah. So it did look well. It was shot well. I thought the angles were also well. I thought Cyborg, at times, the CGI, definitely, you can tell like his legs look really thin. And if he tried to walk or step, it kind of looked a little pop locky. It wasn't as smooth. And I was like, okay, they got the coders that do Fortnite to work his walking out. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty movie to watch.
Okay, so I did not like the movie, and I tried really hard to go into it with a clean slate. Not, I hadn't seen Justice League in forever, and then I guess my memory is just a bit too good to remember why I didn't like the movie, and it just reminds me of a preview. Like, it's just a giant preview for the entire movie, for introducing each character. I mean, I get that, they were trying to compete with MCU, introduce all these characters, to do that. But when you do that for each character in a 4-hour movie, just make 4 separate movies and introduce characters of how they meet together. Like, build your world, there were parts I did enjoy. I did like the new version of Steppenwolf now, instead of him looking all weird human demon thing.
Yeah.
It was cool to actually see Darkseid too, so that was pretty exciting. But I mean, to me, I started the movie, and then I was trying to time it just right so I could watch Falcon and Winter Soldier right after. And then, so I had it timed out perfectly, but then I fell back behind an hour. So then I was just like, kind of like, all right, Falcon and Winter Soldier's on. I'm turning this off and coming back to it. And then started watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I mean, that's just me. And
so it felt like homework.
Not like homework, but like, I still wanted to watch and see, because, everyone's been like hyping this up, like, hey, what's this movie about? Like, let me see how they can improve it. And then I will say they did improve it. The bad taste from the original cut still resonates, that they can't improve it.
So I don't know if this is going to make me a bad guy, but tell me this. Do you think some of the backstory to getting the Snyder Cut and his whole tragedy that happened kind of fueled the fandom and saying, we're going to support this and love it, even if it was just kind of Nobody jump on the grenade with me or anything.
One more time? Sorry, I was reading the comments.
So you're
So
basically saying that like that there's such a big DC fandom that like he hyped it up so much that he wanted other people to, snowball effect, like get it out in social media, like release this cut,
well,
and so
so
he
you
got
know
the
that
funding.
he got his portion of it, and then he had to leave the project. You guys are familiar with
Right.
this?
Yeah.
So, and he had to leave the project, and it was finished up. So this was, his vision beginning to end. Well,
Yeah.
as much as he could.
So like that, I'm actually really for. Like like I said, I like Joss Whedon's movies. I'm a big Buffy fan, Firefly. Like, I was excited when he was brought on for Justice League. Like I was a little sour on Batman vs Superman. The director's cut ended up being a lot better. I like that a lot better. I liked Man of Steel. I know a lot of people didn't.
Right.
But you just have to go into these movies saying this isn't Superman. This is Zack Snyder's Superman, and like that makes it a lot better.
Digest it.
But like I figured Justice League was going to be a mess one way or the other, and I thought Joss Whedon would be able to come in and if anyone could fix it, he did Avengers. Like, okay, that didn't work out. I had a lot of crow about that. Clearly, Zack Snyder with 4 extra years can make a better movie than Joss Whedon with 3 months and no budget with a bunch of shot footage. But the Snyder Cut thing is interesting to me. Like, I want to make like a really definitive statement. There are bad people who use that hashtag, and then there's a genuine large group of people who really, really wanted to see this movie, and it's not cool or fair to lump them all together. But but we can't like ignore that there are straight up shitty people who attack and hurt people online, for lack of a better way of saying it. But I wanted to know more about this, so. Yesterday or the day before, I went looking for Snyder Cut groups on Facebook. There is a group with 5,000 plus people in it, and it's got hundreds of posts every day. People like being really positive, keeping each other in line, like saying we're not like those people. Like, this is something we're really passionate about. We want this to happen. Don't be like those people. Let's do this the right way. Like it was kind of like mind blowing to see. Like I didn't expect it. And like that's really cool to me. Like I think that we talked about The Crow last week, right? And how there's the extended edition that I recommended. That's something that James O'Barr wanted to do later after he had done the book, and he decided there was a better version of the story he wanted to tell, and he wanted to finish it. And I think that's awesome. Like I like that kind of shit. So on some level, somewhere, I'm happy that Zack Snyder got to do this because it's his story to tell, and like he should be able to tell. Right? I'm sorry that. I know that people don't agree with that, but that's, as a creator, if I had a tragedy in my life that pulled me away from a project and somebody else had to finish it because that's how corporations work and entertainment works, I'd love the opportunity to go back and finish it one day too.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I completely agree. So, well, guys, that was what we're talking about, the Snyder Cut. If you're just catching up, again, guys, we appreciate everybody that's commenting and participating in the chat tonight. We do have a bunch of live viewers. I'm checking it right now. So yeah, appreciate you guys for hanging in there. We're talking about this Snyder Cut right now. And I think we're pretty much on the same level with it. I mean, you know what I was thinking about it? Snyder Cut to me, and God, I'm going to piss somebody else off, is kind of like Life of Pi. It was a good movie and I want to watch it, but it's one of those ones I'll only watch once.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't see myself watching it another time after I finished it. But I think part of me, it has to do with that epilogue scene. Like if they released a cut of it without epilogues and without Martian Manhunter, because there was no reason for him to be in this movie, I'm just going to find more things to say as we go on. But like that was unnecessary, and that was just fan service for no reason.
Right.
If there can be the Google Snyder Cut with no Martian Manhunter and no epilogues, I would watch it again for sure. But like that comes down to it being a well-told story. Yeah.
Producer showed us the Stephen Colbert Stephen Colbert Justice League cut or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look, if there was a Google cut of Justice League, it wouldn't have these characters in it. It would be all the heroes. It would be all the characters. It would be Suicide Squad, but with Justice League characters. It would be all the last people you expect.
Nice. I like it.
I want Thunderbolts.
That's what I'm saying, which is kind of what's about to happen here. All right, let's get some final thoughts. So my final thought, if you didn't hear it, it was great. Watch it once. Oh, I don't want to say great. You need to watch it at least once before I put my foot in my mouth. That was my whole Life of Pi reference. Seen it only once. Glad I saw it. We'll never watch it again. This is probably going to fall in that category for me. Sounds like Gogol the same.
Yeah, I think if you saw the first one, you owe it to yourself to see the better version. I think that as a trilogy, like this is one of the few true trilogies, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League in like movies. Like, you know, there are sequels and there are 3 of them, and like that's a trilogy. But then there are trilogies like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, where it's really one story being told across several chapters, and like that is a cool experience, and it's a rare experience. Like this really is epic in size and scope. And if you saw the first one, go see this one. Cleanse the palate, and then, you know, take it or leave it. If you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, that's awesome too. Like, you know, that's the cool thing. Like, you don't have to like things,
right?
And then I'm glad it got released for the fans, and you know, I'm glad I endured and finally finished it in time for this review. But I probably wouldn't watch it again.
There you go. So
maybe if I'm really bored.
I did not think I would be the one walking away of the 3 of us who would maybe watch it again for some reason. That's insane.
But yours would be to pick it apart again.
I think if I watched it again, I'd try and focus on what I liked and what worked, so I can, like, because I like to learn. Like, and Zack Snyder's obviously a capable filmmaker. Like, he wouldn't keep it if he didn't. So like, there's definitely stuff there, but like, you know, it's easier to notice the stuff you don't like than what works and what you like. That takes work. Anyway, that's the Snyder Cut. I feel like we had that conversation without dipping into anything too controversial, which also surprises the hell out of me. Like, I feel like it's not even a slippery slope; it's a wall. Like, you're standing at the top of a wall, you got butter on your feet, and that wall's made of ice, and there's no way. But we did it, guys. We did it.
We got through it,
and we didn't get shut down. Yes,
we're still streaming.
I haven't gotten any hate mail, so.
Oh dang! Look at my Instagram exploding.
Well, all right, guys, that was our take on the Snyder Cut. Again, please go experience things for yourself. Let us know what you thought. Make sure you comment back. But we're going to move on to a new thing we're doing tonight, guys. In preparation, we're into it. March Madness is happening right now. If you're a basketball fan, great. If you're a gambling fan, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I love to make my bracket and turn it in. We're about to do that. So, yeah, hang tight, and we'll be right back with a new segment. All right, guys, you saw it. We got the food chain, Sweet 16. Go ahead and give it a quick gander. Frank, tell them how this is going to work.
So first, let me say that a lot of people had the idea for us doing March Madness as a segment in the segment pitch contest on the last video. We had this in the works for a while, and we couldn't, you know, in good faith, pick your guys' idea, even though we were doing it. So that is a cool idea, and you guys should get credit for thinking of it too. But this is hopefully the first in a series of these that we'll do over the long run of this show, because I spent a lot of time making this bracket design.
So this specific slide needs to be reused just to make it worth
the
time.
Like we can swap out the background. I designed it well. We can do Pokemon or something someday. Power Rangers, whatever.
Oh, totally.
But yeah. So what we're doing here is we have chosen what we have determined to be the 16 most interesting or best sort of B-list Justice League. We figured if we use the heavy hitters, you know, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, like this would be a no contest in a lot of ways. So we want to
be here arguing all day too.
Yeah,
yeah.
For those of you who are watching on a computer screen, I recommend full sizing the screen right now so that you can actually read what's on the slide, because it is not huge. But our 16 candidates are Green Lantern Kyle Rayner, Roy, the hell's Roy's last name? Roy Harper, Arsenal, Red Tornado, Booster Gold, Batgirl. This is the Barbara Gordon version of Batgirl. We forgot to update that, sorry. Black Canary, the first one, if there's another one, I think there are. Metamorpho, Blue Devil. And on the other side, we've got Animal Man, Hawkman, Blue Beetle, Firestorm, Nightwing, Huntress, Zatanna, and Plastic Man. These are, I was looking these over, and some of these are really cool matchups, but some of them are like really wild, like unimaginable, like Santana versus Plastic Man is probably the one I'm most interested in seeing how it plays out.
Yes.
So the way this is going to work is we're going to put about a minute on the clock for each matchup. For the first round, it's 8 matchups, 2 characters per matchup. And we're just kind of talk and debate amongst ourselves about who we think would win and why. And while we do that, we want you guys to comment in with your votes. And we're going to kind of eyeball the votes that come up on the screen and pick a winner based on that. And that'll advance a character to the next round. And we're going to find out who's the best Justice League B-lister. This is an interesting bracket because it has nothing to do with skill and everything to do with opinion. So
yes,
just because you think somebody can win doesn't mean you have to vote for that person. In fact, I would encourage you not to, because we picked winners. We'll get to them later. And mine are outside the box. So do the wrong thing and help me win. Let's just get right into it. So first up, we've got Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, the 4th Green Lantern, I believe. Ion, the Torchbearer, and Roy Harper, Arsenal, probably most famous for being a drug addict, which is unfortunate because he's a pretty cool character. Who do you guys got in this one?
Let's do it this way. Let me give you guys a little background real quick. So the Kyle Rayner, you guys know that he's a Green Lantern. Just some of his skill set and ability. You got Power Blast, Cosmic Awareness, Empathy, Energy Absorption, Energy-Based Construction. You guys know that he can project all that thing. Invincibility, Leadership, Light Projection. That's just some of the power set there. This one might be a little one-sided if you're going straight off what you bring to the table as far as a superhuman ability. And then let's see, what do we got for Arsenal? Arsenal again is do we use the word sidekick for Green Arrow?
Yeah, why not? Call what it is.
Yeah, I mean he's got Green Arrow training. He's probably going to have some type of heightened ability as far as agility goes, speed. Obviously he's going to be a marksman. Would you count arrows into this fight?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
because they have all the different tips and all that stuff.
So maybe he's got a yellow arrow, and Kyle Rayner is a fucking bitch. But it's game over.
I knew you were going to go straight there. Okay, go.
Everyone, just don't forget to comment with who you want. Tim, just bring him up on the screen like you've been, so we can get an eyeball. And then let's 20 more seconds on this one.
Well,
yeah.
And with a ring that Green Lanterns all have, that is completely overpowered for everyone, right?
Well, it's limited by the person wearing it.
That's true.
Probably the best Green Lantern of all because he's got the biggest imagination, being an artist. So he's probably less limited than somebody like Guy, who can probably only imagine a baseball bat.
Right.
Let's not say our picks because we have end picks, right? We don't want to sway the vote in any way.
So I'm getting a lot of Green Lantern.
Yeah, I'm seeing a decent split, probably 60-40 Green Lantern, if I had to call it.
All right. I'll write that down.
All right, so Green Lantern moves on. Yeah, votes still rolling in. All right, next up we've got Red Tornado and Booster Gold, which is one of my favorite matchups on here because these are two characters that I just couldn't even imagine being in the same panel for some reason.
Right.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Red Tornado is a robot who is also a tornado, and Booster Gold is the greatest hero of all time. His words, not mine, his words. Who has a robot that tells him how things are going to go so he can pretty much do anything, which is a better superpower than being rich.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, this Red Tornado's got some stamina, super speed, super strength, unarmed combat, weather control, and wind bursts are some of his abilities there. I'm not super familiar with the power set. I always think of, like you said, Booster Gold's mostly a joke in a lot of the stuff that he's in.
Except for 52. For 52, he's the hero. And
puts it down?
Yeah. So Booster Gold is the greatest hero of all time. He just hasn't gotten there yet. And that's kind of like why he's a joke, because he has to fail to narratively to keep him where he is. Otherwise, he is eventually supposed to rise and be the greatest hero of all time. So he's got a little bit of a handicap, story wise.
Yeah.
Right.
But he had a smartphone before everyone else did too. So
Pretty much. I mean, he had his own Kalex, like Superman's a robot, but this one was smarter and could time travel.
And
I
that's what
think
I'm reading here.
my opinion on it is he's got time travel, and that's one of the most beneficial superpowers. If you fuck up, just go back and try again. Let's see. I'm just gonna eyeball it here. I'm seeing good split again, 50-50, but I'd have to give it to Booster by a vote or two.
Yep. Ooh. Yeah.
All right, three more.
I got a count here.
3 more votes from the crowd.
Dude, a tornado just came in. I'd say that's kind of evening it out. So let's take the next 3 votes, like you're saying.
No. We talked about this. We vote amongst ourselves if it seems like a tie. So 2 out of 3. I'm Booster.
Booster.
Yeah.
Booster advances. All right. So in the next round, it's going to be Kyle versus Booster, which I was hoping for. Next matchup is Babs Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and Black Canary, which I didn't realize is one of the most well-matched ones on the bracket. Sound off, folks. We got Babs Batgirl, who is, she's Batman, but she's a girl. That is her superpower. She's also super smart. She did Oracle for a while. She's Oracle again now. She's got that on her side.
She's got all the gadgets that Batman has, and then and training, like it's,
So she was already an adult though by the time she came into Batman's life, where it seems like a lot of like you get into like Dick Grayson, and he's been training him since he was a child. Do you think that has some?
I think she was probably more a teenager. I think she came in like when Dick was still Robin. I mean, it depends on like what the timeline is and whatever, but I think she was supposed to be a teenager. She's probably only in her early to mid 20s in the books, give or take.
Okay.
But Black Canary is on the other end of this. Depending on who's drawing her, who's writing her, she could be very punk rock, which I think is a superpower. She's got incredible voice. She can scream really loud and make her head explode. Probably.
Sonic screams. Yep.
She hangs out with Green Arrow, who is awesome as well. Way underappreciated. Just gonna eyeball some votes here. Fuck, man, you guys got to stop splitting these votes.
Okay, wait. The first. Okay.
I see a lot of Batgirl actually.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Batgirl at the beginning.
I think it's a landslide on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Batgirl wins it.
All right. So Batgirl moves on. Next up, I'm going to let Ant take this one because these are 2 of the more obscure characters I want to watch them flounder.
So. So I actually had to pull this up. So you got Metamorpho versus the Blue Devil. So I kind of made the joke. I was like, Metamorpho just reminds me of like Super Skull. Like he's got 4 different powers. Each one of them's in a different limb. So he's kind of like an elemental. So he's got some stuff going on. I guess that could get creative in a fight, depending on what you got going on. Fire control, healing, heat generation, ice control, electricity. Not electricity. Elasticity. Am I saying that right? Elasticity. He's a chameleon. That sounds right to me.
He can stretch.
Stretch.
He is the Fantastic Four and all of the elements put together. Like he's like what happens if you take a bunch of other characters and throw them at the wall, and he's what peels off.
Right. It's like when your kids are playing with Play-Doh and you can't find the separate colors, so you just grab all the different colors and put them into one ball. It's Metamorpho.
All right, guys, let me get some votes for Metamorpho Blue Devil while Ant talks about Blue Devil now.
So Blue Devil, he's got a danger sense, almost like a Spidey sense, power blast, agility, fire control, gadgets, healing, hellfire control. That is cool. So you're talking elemental, but this guy's got hellfire, which I'm pretty sure I'm leaning towards Blue Devil now that I'm reading the power.
So he's like Daredevil, but if he was actually a devil.
Correct. Yeah.
And he's blue, which is a knock. That's a negative.
I like him blue. It's a different take on a devil. All devils are red. So here you got a blue one.
Are you a Duke fan? Because I'm not.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right, taking an
eye for votes here.
I'm still seeing people vote for Black Canary.
I just saw that one come in, Black Canary.
I think we might have to revisit Black Canary Batgirl. There seems to be a Snyder Cut movement here.
Right, Blue Devil, Metamorpho, Meta.
Yeah, I'm thinking Metamorpho.
Meta looks like he's walking away with this one. All right, I'm making a note here.
Vote's still rolling in. I'm glad to see that there are not so many Duke fans in the feud. All right, so that brings us to the other side of our bracket. We'll call this the West Coast. All right, let's give the east side of the picture and the west side of the picture. I guess it's flipped for you guys, so we'll call this
their East Coast.
This is the East. Okay, so before we get into this next one, I'm just going to let everyone know that there is only one right answer here, and you better make it. We've got Animal Man versus Hawkman. We've got a guy who's got all the powers of any animal ever, and he is also the protector of the red who has a daughter who is the embodiment of the red, versus a guy with like clip-on wings who is a history nerd. That is the end of the discussion. Please vote.
Well, all right, and then, before you jump in here.
Well, can't also, like, to add on to that, doesn't Hot Girl beat up on Hawkman like all the time?
All the time.
Like, how can you call yourself a man? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
No. We don't talk like that here. But
I was just joking around.
So Carter Hall as a character is not very interesting because you never know what version of him you're getting, and he comes with a ton of that. Shaira Hawkgirl is definitely, she's got less of that, so she's a lot more interesting. Scott Snyder's Justice League run, the other Snyder Justice League, had Shaira, and it was she was a good character in that cast. Robert Venditti did just do a really good run on Hawkman, like that I liked a lot. It's probably the first run of Hawkman I've liked since Jeff Johns, like back in the early 2000s. Other than that, like there's not a lot of good Hawkman stories. There aren't a lot of Animal Man stories, period. But two of the biggest runs on him, Grant Morrison and Jeff Lemire, are two of the best runs in comics ever, and like that counts for something with me.
There you go.
And usually a better art with Animal Man, I think, more interesting art. So
with the Hawkman, you guys start casting your votes now. But with Hawkman, I was just thinking that he's got that longevity ability. So isn't he constantly reborn?
Yeah, but he can die.
Yeah, but he'll be back.
Yeah, but he can lose the fight. Look, he can get fatality and come back, but he's still got fatality.
Animal Man, I guess that's the point. Animal Man
is like a puppet. All right.
All right, so we got Animal Man. Got a couple Hawkman in here. Wait, that one says haha, so maybe that's not a real Animal Man vote or a Hawkman vote.
I mean, we'll give it to him. He seems like he's coming in from behind. I'm seeing Animal Man, personally. I know I'm biased, but...
All right, let's do it. Let's lock in Animal Man.
Thank you to my loyal viewers, Team Gogol.
Team Gogol. Okay, here's one I was looking forward to. We got the Blue Beetle versus Firestorm.
Just to be clear, this is the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, not as interesting as the younger, newer Blue Beetle whose suit is cooler.
Reyes, the alien beetle. Yeah, this is Gadget Beetle.
Yes.
So Ted Kord, his spaceship is awesome.
Which Firestorm is this? Is this Ronnie, or is it one of the others? And also, who's in his head? We didn't plan that one very well.
We did not.
Let's just say this is Firestorm 1, which I believe is Ronnie and Dr. What's his face. This is not Jimmy Reyes Blue Beetle, but he is a boss. We didn't want to put him on here so he couldn't lose. So,
right.
Yeah. So with Blue Beetle, you've got a ton of tech. Ted Kord is he's kind of like the Mr. Fantastic of the DC universe. He's super smart. He can create anything, machine wise. Firestorm, the version we're talking is a younger Firestorm. He's a little reckless. Is not the best here. He's kind of Spider-Man-esque in nature, maybe. But he is, he can fuck with any element. He can shoot fire. He can shoot radiation. He's of the. I don't really have a pick here. Like, I know who I'd like to win because we have picks, but I think they're evenly matched for different reasons.
Well, I was going to say that Firestorm's just going to have compared to Blue Beetle as far as a power set, he's got some badass ability. But then you talking, Firestorm is made by science, and this guy can science a solution to putting out a Firestorm. Is how I would look at it.
We can logic this all day, but
but it looks like the audience has already decided on this one.
Firestorm has murdered Blue Beetle. You heard it.
Blue Beetle is now Crispy Beetle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the better version of
Let's
that.
go with that.
All right, next up. This one I'm kind of interested in. We've got Bruce Wayne's adopted child versus Bruce Wayne's child from another universe. Or, I guess, in Tom King's continuity, she's his child in the present universe. Anyway, DC continuity is insane. We got Nightwing versus Huntress. Yi, why don't you take this one?
So, of course, you have Nightwing, man. Like, he's one of my personal favorites. But maybe I'm just, leaning towards that. And then, of course, you have his first appearance in what Tales of the Teen Titans number 44, which you also get a origin story of Deathstroke. So, and then who's on the other side? The other side is Huntress. So
you actually stopped sharing, man.
Huh?
You stopped sharing.
Did I stop sharing? Oops.
I think, but that's all right. These things happen.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. Let's see. And then on the other side, we have Huntress. Let's see.
Who's got a bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Let's say that this is the Bert and Ellie version, so it's a little less interesting. Not Batman's kids versus one another, but because Bert and Ellie is a little more rough around the edges.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's who we decided before. And it says, let's see, she was born into one of Gotham's mafia families, becomes a spy and vigilante, destroying those that had killed her family. So that's, that origin story sounds kind of familiar already.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But as a key Birds of Prey, she has moved towards brutal but non-lethal methods for fighting crime.
Yeah.
So she's one trigger away from being a Red Hood, female Red Hood. Got it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a landslide for Nightwing. So let's save the oxygen and move on to my favorite in this round, Zatanna and Plastic Man. So on Zatanna, we've got one of the most powerful sorceresses on the planet. Her only problem is she has to talk backwards, which if you've ever tried that, it's not easy. Plastic Man is essentially the joke version of Mr. Fantastic, but he's cool. He's got a great costume.
He was a criminal too, wasn't he? Like a mobster or like a low-level gangster type guy?
I don't remember.
They used to draw him in those like zoot suit pants and the big thick glasses looking stuff.
Oh, like in the 70s, yeah.
Yes, I thought he had some type of like gangster type mob background was where he started. So he's really cocky and slick hair, and he's he's a good fella.
Trying to think. In the plus column for Plastic Man, he was that egg in, I think, was it the Grant Morrison? Is it Final Crisis? He's the egg or whatever, and he's like the key to stopping Darkseid. I might be mixing up stories.
No, DC's not. I thought that was Metal.
Then it's Metal, yeah. The other Snyder Justice League.
Well, I want to say in the animated series, he played a pretty big, important role for like fighting crime and just like being an all-around superhero. Plastic Man.
Was it Plastic Man or was it Elongated Man? Because there's essentially two of the same character, but one's like super good and one's kind of like sketchy.
I want to say it was Plastic Man, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched that series.
All right. Well, it doesn't really matter. The voting has seemed to solidified in like a direction where people are actually voting, and like it is a landslide for Zatanna. So Zatanna moves forward. All right, so let's take down the slide and let's recap. What do we got, Ant?
All right, guys. So on our first matchup, it was the Green Lantern Kyle Rayner versus, I shouldn't have used Sharpie, versus Arsenal. It looks like Green Lantern walked away with that one fairly easily.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You got Booster Gold in the next round. This was versus Red Tornado. Okay. Of course, Booster Gold beat down on some Red Tornado. In the second matchup, it is Barbara Gordon, Batgirl versus Black Canary.
And who moved forward?
Babs moved forward on that one. She put a beat down on the Canary. Metamorpho took on the Blue Devil. Metamorphosized all over the Blue Devil, apparently, and kicked his ass. You guys liking my play-by-play?
Sure. And what happened on the East Coast? Tell us what happened in the East.
Yeah. On the East Coast, we've got Animal Man versus Hawkman. We've decided through Gogol Nation that Animal Man will be moving forward. The next matchup was Firestorm versus the Blue Beetle. Firestorm was just too much for the Beetle. The Beetle goes down in flames. Oh, there you go. Nightwing took on the Huntress. Nightwing, and I looked at all the fandom.
Handily defeated her.
Nice, easy win. Zatanna was able to talk backwards all around Plastic Man, and yeah, he is no longer. He's back in egg form, and we are moving on to the second round.
All right, nice.
Hey,
this is where it's going to get dicey. I think a lot of our picks are going to get messed up here.
So if you have any complaints about our picks, go ahead and message Gogol, and he'll
Directly?
answer all of them.
Please message me, and I will give you Aaron's phone number.
All right, so we kind of gave some background on each character, so I don't think we need to do that again. Let's go through a voting real quick, and if you have a quick reason on why you think you're voting for that person, let's just do it between the three of us, and we'll get votes from the audience here. But so we got Kyle Renner, Green Lantern versus Booster Gogol. Who do you got?
Booster all day. I think Kyle is going to put up a huge fight, but at the end of the day, Booster's he's got the ability to undo the fight, try again. He's got a robot that can tell him how to win it. Like, it's just strategically, he has the advantage.
I'm going to take the other side of this coin. I'm going to go with the Green Lantern only because, it's their will that drives them. And that's how he's going to get down. I'd say as far as powered abilities, they're probably pretty evenly matched. But I see Booster Gold screwing around a little too much and catching one on the chin. So I'm going to go with the Green Lantern.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go with Ant on this one, Green Lantern. Because, as you said, as you said before, Booster Gold has I'm still new to this kind of game, so I think his inexperience is gonna go against him.
I want to flip and say Green Lantern too, just because I knew that that's the answer, but I want to see.
You want to believe in Booster
Gold? This would have been a good final, but Booster Gold's going to get beat up right now, and we're going to move down to Batgirl versus Metamorpho. All right, we'll go in reverse this time. Yee, kick us off on this one.
I'm going to have to vote for my girl Babs. She's been through a lot. She got shot in the back, relearned how to walk, and then, it's kicking ass.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to agree.
Frodo's in the comments still voting for Black Canary, and we see you, man. We see you. But Babs won on a foul play that should have been a free throw, but here we are.
Yeah. I wonder what okay, we'll have to get into this next time and get a deeper dive on this versus, especially that Black Canary versus Batgirl one, because people seem to be having a problem with this. But yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board with Babs. Gogol, who do you got?
Metamorpho. I just can't, as much as I like Babs and I want her to be the winner, I can't see somebody who has all these superpowers losing to somebody who's got gadgets. It doesn't make sense.
All right, and it looks like Metamorpho is going to win this one. Batgirl is cooler, but Metamorpho will beat her. Yeah.
That's the hard thing about this is you have to answer right, not use your head, not your heart kind of thing. And since I only have a head and a head, it's just really easy for me to pick Metamorpho.
Pretty good. All right, going back over to the East Coast of the bracket, we've got Animal Man versus Firestorm. Interesting matchup here. Let's kick it off top to bottom again. Gogol, what are you thinking?
Animal Man, obviously, that's my horse in this race. But realistically speaking, Buddy Baker he's a psycho. At the core of it, he will do whatever he needs to do. Especially if his daughter's in the mix, he's gonna kill people. He also can resurrect. I know we ruled that out for who was it? Hawkman. But at the same time, he can resurrect in real time. We're not waiting 30 years for him to come back. He's just he'll shove a tree up your ass. He is a badass. Firestorm, inexperience is gonna get him in this one.
So we got a Firestorm, Animal Man, Firestorm, Animal Man, Firestorm, Animal Man, Firestorm. Sounds like Firestorm winning this one, buddy.
Yeah, by a voter. Yeah.
Another Firestorm just came in. Lazy Spider Eggs and Firestorm. What? Lazy Spider Eggs and Firestorm. Okay.
Wait, are some people voting twice? What's happening here?
Let's see. Firestorm, and then you got it. Yay, Dave's with you though. He's got an Animal Man. So are we in agreement? Is there more Firestorms than Animal Mans?
I think we should vote.
Okay, I vote. I don't want to agree with you, but I vote Animal Man.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to vote with the. I'm gonna have to go with the audience and go with Firestorm.
That's all right. You already lost.
I know.
I just used my political power to move this guy forward, which makes it a lot like college basketball, right? Like sometimes it's how much money and influence you have that wins you games and what players you can afford. Animal Man had me in his corner. So sorry to everyone who voted wrong, but Animal Man moves forward.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then moving on to the next matchup, we got Nightwing versus Zatanna. Yee, kick us off.
I'm gonna have to vote for my boy Nightwing. I mean, I know magic could like kind of overpower and all that stuff, but I don't know. Like, I have a feeling that his mental ability and skills could like outsmart Zatanna.
Outmaneuver, outsmart, uses gymnastics to dodge her.
Guys, we don't even have to talk about this. Like, it's so one-sided in the votes.
Zatanna's going to kick his ass. All right. Quick vote. Zatanna?
I think it's Zatanna.
Yeah. I don't think we have to count.
I appreciate all the Nightwing stands, but here we are. I'm not even going to try to say it backwards. So,
all right. So while we update the brackets, guys, let's just do a real quick recap. Green Lantern Kyle Renner kicked Booster Gold's ass. We're going to move down to Babs versus Metamorpho. Metamorpho, of course, with his power sets, just going to overcome gadgets and let's leave it at that. I was going to make another comment, but because, when I think of fights, I always think about size too. I mean, Babs can't pack that much of a punch because she's a petite person. And you got this big rock guy. I'm thinking he catches her once, she's probably toast. Agree?
He's got to catch her, though. She's fast. He's not.
I'll give you that. Okay, so there's a whole thing we
can around on those bat cables and whatever. She's got a motorcycle. She just run him over.
There you go. We've got Animal Man versus Firestorm. The big debate, guys. If we have one of those dun 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 moments, it was over this matchup here. Unanimously decided amongst the chat that was Firestorm, but we vetoed that because we know best. And Gogol and I took Animal Man, and he moves on.
Big brother's watching.
And then the last matchup of the night was Nightwing versus Zatanna. Nightwing is cool. Everybody loves him. I want him to win too. But let's keep it real. Zatanna's going to put him in some weird alternate dimension where things are messed up and backwards, and that's where he'll live. So she moves on.
All right. So our final four are Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Metamorpho. And on the East Coast, we got Animal Man and Zatanna. This is not how I saw things going in any way, shape, or form, except for one of the picks, and I'm fairly sure that's obvious. Or maybe I'm wrong. I honestly forget what my picks look like at this point.
Do we have those then? Should we start touching up now on where we're at?
Next slide's got all of our picks, so we're going to see who.
Because I forgot what I picked.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was like way too earlier in the day.
That's why I asked early in the day. All right.
I had my son do mine. I sat him down with the bracket. I said, "Here, tell me your picks." And these are Adam's picks for the ones I submitted.
I had to finish watching the Snyder Cut. I couldn't remember what I was picking.
All right. So first up in the West Coast Finals, we've got Kyle Rayner versus Metamorpho. What do you guys think?
I got to stick with the Green Lantern again. The Metamorpho, I think, is kind of barely squeaked by on his matchups because it could have gone either way with him or Blue Devil. Like you made your points with Babs, and she had a little better.
You don't like a Cinderella story though? Like that's magic.
Not on this half of the bracket.
Listen, I'm going to put it out there. What if Metamorpho turns into yellow?
Oh yeah.
Like this.
It's game.
This should have been the argument for Kyle Rayner from the start.
Right? Yeah.
So any person that could be yellow is going to beat Kyle Rayner.
I didn't invent Green Lantern. Like I didn't make these rules. I'm just.
And then we didn't even consider that Mr. Gold's whole costume is yellow, right? Or mainly yellow. Or is it gold?
They didn't fight, so they did. They did.
Yeah.
Well, it's blue, and blue is hope, and hope powers Green Lantern, so it's probably a wash. Man, I know way too much about Green Lanterns.
I was gonna say, bro, you might want to stop.
DC sure you're a Marvel fan?
Right?
Let's take a look at the chat, see what we got. I've seen a lot of Green Lantern, Metamorpho.
Ooh, yellow doesn't affect Kyle's ring. There we go.
Oh,
Kyle's technically not a Green Lantern though. He's a White Lantern. So like we can do technicalities all night.
let's see. Kyle turns white. Yellow doesn't affect his ring. Metamorpho, Kyle, Metamorpho.
I mean, that's just one argument for Metamorpho, though. What if Metamorpho turns into writer's block for artists or something? I don't know.
Oh, there you go. What, is he an elemental, though?
This is good. We spent a lot of time on this. Let's
All right, let's wrap this up. Okay, so I lost track of them. What do you guys think? If you guys see it one way or another, call it. If not, we'll go to the judges' ruling on voting.
I'm eyeballing about a split. Maybe Kyle, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's go to the vote then. You kick us off. Who do you got in this matchup?
I'm going to go with Metamorpho.
Okay, we got one Metamorpho. Go. Who do you got? I want to be the tiebreaker if there is one.
I'm going to be Metamorpho too.
Damn it. All right, I'm going to be Kyle Rayner, even though I don't matter.
You matter to us. You matter to us.
That's what counts. That is what counts. Wow, this has not gone the way I thought it would be. All right, now we're going over to the East Coast. We've got a Final Four matchup of Animal Man versus Zatanna. Gogol, I know you got thoughts. Let's go.
With both of my heads, Animal Man. Zatanna's got magic, like that's kind of like a hand wave, right? Magic fixes everything. In a straight up fight, Animal Man wins. Magic is the worst kind of storytelling to me. Like it's too easy. But here's the thing: both of them are just about A-list Justice League to me. I'd argue that maybe they both are, and we didn't need to include them in this lineup. But I'd say that Zatanna would. The kind of magic she would have to use to beat Animal Man would be the kind of consequences, and she'd probably kill herself in the process, which makes it a wash. That's a tie. So I'm gonna go Animal Man.
Okay. I when I look at the characters, I'm talking with like Animal Man, and he's got more of a physical ability where you kind of made my point. Magic is super convenient. It could be what she needs it to be. So I think Zatanna would walk away with this one.
I'm going to have to go with Zatanna also on this.
All right, but let's go to the chat. What are you guys seeing in the chat?
I'm seeing 60, 40, 70, 30 in favor of Zatanna.
Animal Man turns into a bunny. That'd be great.
Someone said that Zatanna can accelerate time, and that cute bunny turns into a big fucking brawler bunny when you accelerate time. So that's not an argument for Zatanna. Come on now.
No. That would be bad. Unfair. Some people are saying, yeah, I think I'm seeing more Zatannas than I am Animal Man.
Well, let's just give it another minute, and let me also add that any votes I see for Animal Man get free comics. I'm buying this championship. I'm buying it.
You want to buy that ring?
All right, so let's
read Dead End Kids.
That's a terrible. He's buying the votes now. Zatanna pop into another universe.
I still haven't seen a Animal Man vote yet, so I don't know if it's.
Well, you're not looking then. They're there. Look, Zatanna's winning because she's great. That's what it could be. Animal Man would win. You guys are crazy. Everyone in this chat is wrong. You can't make a bracket and you got strong opinions instead.
Oh my goodness, you guys are all
so
wrong.
Now your votes count for 3 now instead of just one.
I see that somebody in the chat has announced that Animal Man wins, and I feel like that's binding.
So make sure to hit up Gogol for those free comics.
Well, let's find out. I think I want a recount. That's what I want.
Free comics. I would Animal Man before you said free comics.
Nerdy, shoot me a DM. I got you.
He's got you covered. All right, so recount. Let's Oh my goodness!
It's Zatanna.
Yeah, I want to give you what you want, but at the same time, I don't. So yeah, Zatanna wins this one. Zatanna moves on to the finals.
Oh, talk about a disappointing finals.
Well, I don't think any of us picked this at all, right?
No,
or anything close.
I think I had somewhere maybe.
All right. So, if it makes you feel any better, Gogol, I wanted you to win. And now I want to read Animal Man. So
you should.
That's something.
Yeah,
I definitely do. So we got the finals matchup. It's going to be Metamorpho versus Zatanna. Apparently, these two survived their brackets all the way to the championship round. Are we going to get into this right now, or what'd you say about the picks? Or
Well, two things that we should know about this round. One, both of Zatanna's power forwards sprained their ankles in the last game, so they're coming in with their bench warmers and they're playing at about 50%. Also, the refs are in Metamorpho's pocket, so these are all things that are happening in real time. We can't control these. I definitely didn't just make them up. So now vote according to what is really happening, not what you want to be happening.
right. Yeah, Metamorpho is more like the Harlem Globetrotters version of an actual basketball team.
I mean, he could just become basketball and throw himself in the hoop. He can control air. He can be a basketball.
He goes to dunk himself, right? And then she creates, a portal that he flies through, and then he's not in a basketball court. He's on a tennis court, and he's like, shit, I can't win now.
I'm just realizing now that this never should have been a Mortal Kombat style bracket. It should have been who would win a basketball game.
That would have been funnier. Yeah.
That's how I've been doing it the whole time in my head. I just didn't realize it. So obviously, Metamorpho is Shaq. He is tall. And then we've got Zatanna's the best WNBA player, or Muggsy Bogues. Like, take your pick.
There you go.
So what do we got in the comments? Oh my God, there's a decent amount of Metamorpho. What the?
Oh, but keep scrolling down. Now all the Zatanna votes are voting in. So we got 1, 2, 3,
vote twice.
4.
Everyone vote twice.
I think Zatanna's a fan favorite.
Yeah,
meta.
I think
she's got eBay first appearance.
Dave Durr, yeah, if she beat Animal Man, she's going to beat Metamorpho, but that's not how college basketball works. There's this thing called an upset, and we're trying to get an upset here.
Cinderella, guys. And literally, she could be Cinderella.
Remember, Zatanna's players are injured. Like, 2 of them lost their legs. Like, they can't even jump anymore. So it's really, really likely that she's going to lose.
All right, let's take it to the judges' ruling because they are going back and forth in this.
I'll go first since it's obvious what I want. Zatanna.
Oh, wow.
All right, Yee, I'm trying to be the tiebreaker here. Yee, go ahead and pick.
All right, if you want to be the tiebreaker, I'll go with Metamorpho.
Oh, man, I get to pick the champion? Okay.
Good. You can't win. You're going to pick the wrong one no matter.
Yeah. You're going to get tons of angry Instagram messages and Facebook messages, no matter who you pick.
Bird City at birdcitycomics.com
.com. Come over, send me all of your hate mail. Just sign up for my newsletter while you're there. I think I'm going to have to go with Zatanna too.
That's who I was secretly voting for. I just wanted the excitement.
I knew you were.
Worked out how it was going to work out anyway.
All right, so we're going to say Zatanna is our big winner. She took her bracket all the way to the top, kicked a bunch of butt.
Zatanna, if you're watching, hit us up, IG or DM or whatever. We got your trophy.
Yep, we got you. We'll have you on for an interview. You can tell us how you took out Animal Man. Gogol would love to hear that, and I'm sure he'd have some thoughts and points on that.
Yes. Yeah. We'll get the Gogol cut version of the fight.
All right, let's show our brackets. Let's see how we did.
Some bullshit.
Handy here.
Some bullshit.
All right.
Damn, I did okay in the first round.
Okay, Final Four. My Final Four. Let's see. 1, 10, Hawkman. So I had 2.
I'm the only one who got 4 out of 4 for the Final Four.
4 out of 4 for the yep. So you definitely got the Final Four, and I got 2 out of 4, and Yee was in there.
Yeah, I got 3 out of 4.
3 out of the 4, yeah. Semifinals, you got Animal Man versus Booster Gold, which did not happen. That ended up being Metamorpho and Green Lantern, so completely off there. And what else?
So you guys got A finals correct, and I got all Final Four correct, but none of us got the winner.
Damn.
But
so
my candidate went furthest.
You willed that guy there with a bribe of free comics, just so you know.
You just always want to win every single fun segment we have, right?
Yes, I do, but I also want to be like chaotic neutral. I don't really care.
That's awesome. Well, that was fun, guys.
I see Jen in the comments still standing Black Canary, so maybe we should do another Final Four down the line and just give Black Canary an honorary spot or double elimination next time.
Yeah, we'll pick a whole new category of how we select the heroes for this next one. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was the Food Chain Sweet 16. Again, that was all of our opinions, and most of them didn't even make sense half the time. So there you go.
Thanks for joining us.
you can't have a point going, guys, Animal Man is the best because I will give you free comics. That's not in his power set.
Actually, Animal Man does have an in-universe comic book about him, so it's literally in his power set.
And you would be, I should just know you're going to know some obscure details, so I'm just going to stop.
Or I'm going to lie to your face with so much assurance that you don't know the difference.
Now I got to Google it. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that segment. We might retrofit it and switch it around a little bit and use it for other things, but had a blast doing that. We're going to get into the last segment of our show, really just kind of a recap and give you a few final parting words, but go ahead and hit the graphic on that one, Timmy.
The answer is crow. We are all eating crow.
Right.
That is it.
That is it. So, guys, this is the what we're eating section. Basically, this is what we've been looking forward to throughout the week, or things that we've been doing that have just been entertaining as hell to us. So, whose picks do we have up first?
I'm up first. It's Food Chain order. So we've each got 3 picks of books we're looking forward to this week, and then one thing that we're kind of doing outside of comics that's keeping us busy, entertainment wise. So this week I've got Action Comics 1029, I think is the number on it. This is the first issue of Action Comics under Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the second issue under his Superman sort of overarching run. I love the first issue, Superman number 29, I think it was. Philip is incredible writer, great creator, and I love what he's doing with Superman. I'm excited to check this out. In the middle there, we got Power Rangers number 5. I don't even think I need to explain that. I'm literally part of my life now. But I also am still a super big fan. This is Ecliptor from Power Rangers in Space is jumping into Power Rangers further back in the timeline, first appearing before he ever has before. So it's kind of exciting to see him interact with some of the OG Power Rangers. And then for my third pick, we've got Black Panther 24. Black Panther is one of my favorite characters. This is always going to be a book I'm excited to read. I haven't been super hot on this run of Black Panther, especially the last half of it. It's just been a little hard to follow, and I need to read it all when it's done. But I'm always going to be excited for Black Panther. And that cover's sick. You got sort of that's Killmonger from the Black Panther movie wearing a symbiote. So you can't go wrong.
Yeah, the Killmonger, when he gets that symbiote's all kinds of badass. So
and then
your pick.
Outside of comics, I took the easy way out and picked Falcon the Winter Soldier. I watched it, I dug it. I'm excited for more. And yeah.
Nice.
Right on. I got to watch that. It's on my list. All right, guys, these are my picks here. This is Carnage, Black, White, and Blood. I saw the interior art, and that was a lot of it for me because I can get really into a story, especially a symbiote story. I'm not super into dark stuff, but this will be a Carnage book I'm going to give a try and stick with the series for a couple in just to see if I dig it after a while. So was looking forward to giving this book a try. Cruising over to my Aliens pick. Of course, that's a Bird City Comics exclusive, but I want to see how they introduce the aliens into the Marvel Universe, or if there's even any crossover there.
Also by Philip Kennedy Johnson, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Is that his name down at the bottom? There's no name on this one. Pretty sure Philip's writing that too.
There you go. So you got some promise in the good writing there. I'm going to see where they pick up this story and then how it's going to translate over. So I'm interested to see how they use Aliens. Badass. And then the Teen Titans Academy. Teen Titans has been, especially the Future State stuff, was fantastic. Red X is such a cool character. What are we talking about? Teen Titans something or other was when the Red X made the appearance. It was the Teen Titans cartoon series.
Teen Titans Go 23.
23, right. There you go. So I was excited to see how they developed this character. Teen Titans have been a good read. The Infinite Frontier shouldn't disappoint, so I'm looking forward to cracking into
that. But that was a robot, too.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Dude, that issue came out how long ago? This whole episode has been spoilers anyways, right?
Real.
I can go with conscience.
with the Carnage, is that an In-Huck Lee cover?
Inhok Lee did do one. He did not do this one. I got it on the table of heroes back in the board earlier.
Okay.
But Inhok Lee's symbiote covers are all kinds of cool. He did Scream too.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Scream fan, but I order them for people to get them, and that Scream cover is pretty badass that he did. So yeah,
All right.
big fan of him. These are my comic book picks. All right, so I have been on this journey trying to watch things that I've never seen before, but you hear about super nerdum and fandom from, you know, I had no idea what Farscape even was aside from hearing it. So I started watching it, and now I'm binging it. It's got some Jim Henson kind of puppeteering going on, and it is, God, I don't want to make anybody mad again, but it is almost so bad that I'm in love with it on how it's shot. And even the music is terrible, and I love it. The intro is probably the worst intro I've ever seen in my life. I can't get enough of it. But I'm weird that way. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this and trying to keep up with what's going on. Like, the ship's alive. Did you guys know that? It's a living ship.
I didn't know that.
Apparently. So yeah, like they're trying to remove a bomb from the ship's hull, but that could hurt the ship like physically, and the ship could die. I'm like, wait, what? So they got to like gas the ship, so it's numb. And I just, dude, there's so much happening. I'm just like, what? You have to drug the ship so you can do surgery on it like a person? Yes.
Okay.
I knew Jen was going to chime in and say that she liked it because Jen watches the most obscure things I've ever heard of. Have you heard of corner gas? No, nobody has heard of corner gas.
So yeah, I've been trying to find these. Yeah, no worries. I've been trying to find, like, I rewatched Firefly. I started this. I want to watch Battlestar Galactica. I've never seen an episode of that, so that might be a pick at some point. But for right now,
You got to watch the movie first, isn't it?
Okay,
For
that's a good
for
tip.
Battlestar Galactica, isn't it something like you watch the movie and then you start watching the episodes?
Hard thing that they broke into episodes if you watch the seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. Just know that they're going to tell you they had a plan and they didn't.
There you go. So yep, that's what I was eating.
All right. So for what I'm eating this week, I'm really looking forward to Haha issue number 3. This is the B cover. I kind of like this one a little bit more than the A cover. So far issues 1 and 2 I've really enjoyed. Like, it just, Prince, he does like crazy writing where you start out a story and then at the end it's just like kind of like, oh, he just blew my mind. Like, fuck, But anyways, I'm also, which I probably should have picked this up today, which I completely forgot, but it's Future State Teen Titans Ruins. This reprints both issues 1 and 2 into one book, and then redoes the artwork for the background color, or instead of it being red, it's grayed out.
That's cool.
And then Department of Truth number 1. This is the 4th print. So shout out to Ultra giving us heads up on the Wednesday night presser for talking about, all the different issues that are coming out, variants and stuff like that. And I've been collecting Department of Truth issues like since, the title got announced. And if I'm going to have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd prints, I might as well add the 4th print to my collection.
Yeah, you seem like a mark for later prints. I'm doing a 9th print of Dead End Kids. Do you want that?
Yes.
I'll gray out the background for you.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I've always liked the later prints. Like, even before this, like, big hype on it, like, it was the easier way to get a key book or whatever for cheaper costs. I mean, that's not so much the case. That's not the case anymore. But, it all started. I have to blame the Killing Joke on that. I've collected all 14 prints of that, and now I'm working on all of the reprints and like random foreign editions and stuff like that. So,
can I ask? Do you have a bed in your room, or do you
I just sleep on long boxes and
throws a blanket over some long
yeah,
boxes.
and then like no pillow, just slabs.
Is that a flex and also sad?
That's awesome. Oh man, I get to do that cool retailer thing though. I read Haha about 20 minutes before the stream, and it's pretty cool. It's a cool twist.
Okay, yeah, I thought issue 2 was pretty good, and so I mean, I'm enjoying this like miniseries because it's like what, a 6-issue miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
very cool
then
picks.
yeah, and so for what I'm watching High Rise Invasion. This is on Netflix. It's a pretty cool anime that let's see, it premiered earlier in or late February. So yeah, I'm
What's
enjoying
the
it.
synopsis on this bad boy?
So basically, you have this girl that's trapped in this, I guess, like a dream state or something, and there are masked people chasing after her, not to kill her, but to either like make her jump off the building or try to get to the next escape point. And then she eventually meets up with this other girl. I forget their names because it's all in Japanese, and so reading subs can be hard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah.
Right on, right on.
Now this is a spinoff of Sailor Moon. I'm guessing by that outfit, but she has guns now. Is that what? Am I getting this right?
That's what it
So
looks like.
on the first episode, she's like on the phone with her brother, and he knows what's going on with her, and then a masked person interrupts her, destroys her phone, so her only communication to outside the world, I think. So I'm only like a few episodes in.
So
I think all that
it's Die Hard in Japan. Listen, we're gonna
on suspension bridges.
we've been talking about doing like pre-recorded stuff to build out some of the content on the channel. And I think one of the things we should do is you on screen describing episodes of this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
No visuals, just you telling us about
what I'm seeing and
maybe
what
read
I'm
some
reading.
subtitles.
Yeah.
But leave a comment if you think that Aaron should do that.
I think we should have a segment called Aaron's Dramatic Read.
Okay. I can review comics. Yeah.
The sad flex reread.
There you go.
Reviews of Heath.
Jeez. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the picks. Again, if you did not catch the entire show, cruise back to the beginning. We go over the Justice League Snyder content that he put out. Was this last week, the 18th? So it's been out a couple days. There are some spoilers in there. If you do go back, make sure that you have tons of them.
Just a few.
Make sure you can send some subscribers our way. We are getting really close to subscriber goals. We are over 700. I think with 755 was our current one, and we're pushing towards that 1,000. But what do we have coming up next week?
We don't know. We decided on it. We had it, but before I could make the title card, we all forgot. So obviously, it wasn't a very good idea.
Yeah, I thought I wrote it down, but I don't know what happened.
I think watching the Snyder Cut like rewired part of my brain, and now I can't remember things that are important. So we don't know what we're doing next week. But if you guys want to leave a comment before Sunday, you can help us pick. What do you want to do?
The only note that I still have from our meeting says Troll Hunter Gogol.
Yo, you said you wouldn't bring that up again.
Troll Hunter.
Nice.
Listen.
So, let's see. Yeah. So let's go to, let's see. We got to the Snyder Cut. Just remember to sub, guys. We're making that big push towards 800. So we're looking at that. Make sure that you go to Instagram. I think Yi and Gogol are taking point on putting up a lot of content there. And
you have slides for all the stuff you're saying.
I don't have the clicky, so I'm just talking now.
Is that what you call it?
But yeah. the clickalizer. But yeah, we're pushing towards that 800 goal, guys. If you have not seen it, what I do with it, this is going to be the next giveaway. I've got it right here. It is ready to hit the mail, and it is a gorgeous book. But of course, ultimately, we're trying to push to that 1,000. So encourage your people to come out and hang out with us.
Yeah, when we get to the 1,000 mark, we're going to level up for the 1,000 to 2,000 giveaways too. So like, we want to get there. We've got some cool stuff picked out. Some of it Ant has been talking about is over the top. Like nobody needs a life-size Grogu. Nobody. But
everybody needs one.
We're talking about it. But when we hit 800, we're going to give away that Justice League foil cover, sick-looking cover. When we hit 1,000, I think we have a slide for that too. If not, we're going to give away that Kanto #1 SDCC signed copy. Follow us on Instagram. I spend a lot of time making this slide, so like, don't make it so I wasted my time. Go. Is it liking on Instagram? Following. Go follow us. It says it right there at the top. So I'm tired. It's late. But yeah.
Send,
All
send
right,
us your
guys.
angry messages on there. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, hit
Just
me up
put
with
at
free
Gogol
comics.
at all of them.
If you
Yeah.
voted for Animal Man, hit me up. I'll give you the first issue of Dead End Kids for free.
That's great. I love that. And that's a cool part about hanging out with us. Gogol's got probably a lot of his own work hanging around there, so he can give out what he wants. I'm a comic book store. I got a lot of cool shit to give away, so just keep the subs coming so that we can keep giving you guys very cool things. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Final thoughts, guys, before we kill it for the night.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I was gonna say, I got to clear off space off my bed so I can actually sleep on it instead of comic books. So I'll give away some cool stuff too.
Nice.
I know you got some stuff around your house. You have to.
I'm that if as an alternative to subbing to the channel, if you want to mail us subs to eat, that would be great too. Anyone who lives in New Jersey who wants to send me some Jersey Mikes, that would be clutch. I know we have them here in California, but they're not as good. So mail me subs, sub to the channel. It's your choice. Either one would be greatly appreciated.
I think that should be a new segment where we eat subs. An inch for every 100 subs we get. So right now we should have an 8-inch sub. And I'm hungry. All right, we need to do this thing. All right, guys. Well, that was it. We'll see you guys next week. Just look out for all the things we put out. We're going to put out obviously some teasers once we lock in what we're going to do. But until then, this is Comic Book Food Chain. Appreciate y'all. Stay safe, my friends, and stay hungry.